What's up, folks? Sean, the Average Angler. Let me first start by saying Merry Christmas. We are just about there. It's just around the corner. I got to go with the missus today to finish that up. But today we are going to go over what, for me, was my top baits of 2024. And the cool thing about this is I get to look back over the year and think, wow, I didn't do very well on this, or I didn't throw this much, and kind of, you know, a couple things you want to do a little different in the next year. So, to start this off, let's just go straight to the juice. And my biggest fish of the year, a 9-pound, 2-ounce largemouth, caught on Clear Lake, was caught on that Johnny C. I just grabbed this pack, folks, to show you it's not the color. I'll put the color in there. It's pretty much brown, purple. There's a little bit of orangish down here on the bottom. And that has the Yamamoto Flappin Hog 3.75, and I think the color is 301. Yep. All right, folks, thanks for clicking on the video. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch the videos I make. Help me get to 2,900 before the end of the year. It's a lot to ask, I know, but there's a lot of you watching the videos that aren't subscribed. So if I just got a small percentage of you to subscribe to the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated and really help the channel out. We got great things coming in 2025. Thanks again. The button's right there. It's free. Green pumpkin with large green and purple flake. There's also one that has green pumpkin, purple, and gold, I think. Okay, one's 297, one's 301, I believe, are the colors. But anyway, that jig, and as you know, if you watch my videos, that's one of my favorite jigs anyway. It doesn't really matter where I'm at. And it's been a big producer. I do throw several trailers on it, but that one got the biggest fish of the year. And that was fall, by the way. All right, moving on. So if you go to the biggest, let's next do the most. And this one was kind of surprising because I don't really know what got me to put this bait on. But I did, and it produced. And it had to be this setup. Part of it's because it won't fit on any shaky head, and that is a Zoom finesse worm. And I don't know, through the watermelon purple glitter, which is this one, and I also threw the green pumpkin with purple, and I believe these are like 5-inch, so they're kind of the tweener, if you will, but very inexpensive. They come in a pack of 20, and man, I'll tell you, these just did so well for me in the colder weather months. Mostly when I really got onto this was January, February, March. They still produced. They produced at Shasta, Orville, and Berryessa come to mind that this was a real top producer. Now, a lot of you know I really like to throw that Berkley Frenzy nail shaky head, but because of the narrow front end on this, with that hook keeper, doesn't really pair too well. So I threw it on the owner, all right? So that one got the most, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't even close. All three of those lakes have spotted bass. Coincidence? Nah, I don't know. I started thinking, man, I should be trying that on my local lake because it really outshined what I am throwing on my local lake and worked so well for me on a lot of other. We will get to that bait here in a minute. Well, let's just do it now. And that is this rig right here. Caught fish on it yesterday. So it is still current, up to date. And there is that Frenzy nail. And I'm throwing that Zman Batty Z. Okay. Colors, the one I just held up is called the Deal. It's kind of a bait fish color, but green pumpkin on top, whitish on the bottom. There's the Frenzy nail. I'm throwing it in a 1/4 ounce. It just works really, really well with the Elastec. And I really like this on worms I can get away with. Robo Fats, Reaction Innovations Flirt Worm is another one that works really well on that one. So it is a stand-up head. It's got a great hook in it. You can fish it with a bait caster or spinning. No issues there. So that was a real good one. This one has played all year long, okay? And a lot of times, post front, this tends to work really, really well, letting it sit because it's buoyant. As you know, Zman Elastec floats, and that worm will just move in the natural current of the lake or wherever you're at. Well, yeah, another standout. This just caught fish everywhere, and this is going to come as no surprise. To me, the color that out caught the other ones this year kind of came as a surprise because I didn't throw a whole lot of white in the jackhammer in the past, but I did this year, mostly later in the year through the fall. And this is one thing I don't like about baits that are not in a clamshell, is they kink. I don't think it affected it because I caught plenty of fish on this exact one I just took out. That it was a 3/8 ounce, and part of that is because of where I was fishing it, higher in the water column, along weed edges, and they just come flying out and eat it. Not my typical chatterbait fishing, but I didn't get a ton of time in the spring to fish due to work constraints and other things, so it's kind of the way it goes sometimes. All right, moving on. The one tournament that I won this year, hey, and it was a long time coming. It was the frog tournament, and we had been top 10, I think, the last 3-4 years. And that was the Berkley Swamp Lord. New frog by Berkley. As you know, if you follow professional fishing, Jordan Lee won the heavy hitters on it also. Very soft frog. I was throwing the poppin' frog, 200 plus boats out there. Frog fishing tends to get tough. But anyway, that new Swamp Lord did well for me, and it did well for me the remainder of the year as well. I was throwing this one and then black. I keep my frogs pretty simple. In the spring, I'll throw a bluegill color just because it pisses them off if you're over the top of the bed. I laid everything out. I did a little prep work here this time. All right, we can't forget the cool baits. Underspin, this is the one that's caught the most, and surprising to me, the 2.8. Again, time of year, where I'm fishing, that kind of thing. But the quarter is my standout anyway in the cool heads, and this color is the raw, which I tend to favor because it pairs with everything, and I don't know. I just feel like the white doesn't get bit as much for me, so it's probably a confidence thing. But either way, that was the winner there as far as the underspin goes. Caught a ton of fish. So this leads me to... And this one's going to be called the key player because it just caught key fish. And that is the Little Creepers trash fish. And this one's pretty new, but you'll see the teeth marks there from the 5.5 pounder that ate this particular one. That's on an 8 ounce beast hook. I believe it's 3/8 is the weight. I throw it on the iRod 764 Gen 3, which is more of a moderate action. Okay, they come in a variety of colors. These are kind of the simple ones for me. That one's marked natural hitch, but I think it meant to be just shad. And that one says LC hitch tucked out. So the tucked out is a little different than the regular LC hitch. One's called ghosted, one's called tucked out. This is tucked out. It's got the white in the belly. These are phenomenal, folks, and they're phenomenal everywhere. It's probably one of the best slow retrieve, bottom bouncing swim baits on the market. Those that know, they know, and those that don't, they don't. Apparel. We can't not do something on apparel, and as you see, I am wearing it. Okay, this Aftco Reaper hoodie is freaking the bomb for these fall, winter, spring days, either as a layer or just as your warmth. They're very warm. They block the wind well. As you saw, it's got the face mask. This is a face mask for warmth, okay? It's got a little fleece on the inside, and it's a little bit thicker than a sun hoodie. But to me, this was my score of the year. I've actually bought several others because I liked it so much. The Aftco Reaper hoodie in the apparel department in my house has been the big winner. One thing I want to say by doing this and thinking back over my year is there's some things that I really missed out on this year. First one I want to talk about my number one and favorite way to fish is a swing head with a rage bug. For probably the last 10 years, it's easily been my number one bait. And this year, I just didn't get out enough to hit things at the right time where that was the deal. Part of that's the high water. The areas I typically fish it weren't exposed. The fish were back in trees and cover. And then the other part of it is I just didn't get out enough to fish it at the right times. How's that? Some things I need to throw more. The glide bait. Okay? It's on my deck all the time, year round. It's something I need to do more. And then the other one is the jerk bait. Another one with forward-facing sonar. You kind of need to have it on the deck. Yes, it's that time of year right now anyway for a jerk bait in the coming months, but it can be a great tool year-round. And I think KVD proved that back in the day when he was tearing up the circuit. I used to fish it a lot more than I do. I just need to get back to doing it. Merry Christmas to everybody. What were your top baits? Leave me down in the comments. Let's share some info here, try and help a brother out. You know, a lot of times this depends on where we fish too. Okay, so that can vary, but it's interesting information to see how things go around the country, around the state, for different people with different species of fish also. But Sean the Average Angler, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.